Good morning and welcome to day 14 of our 30-day covenant prayer. Please pray with me. I am no longer my own but yours. Put me to what you will. Place me with whom you will. Put me to doing, put me to suffering. Let me be put to work for you or set aside for you. Be praised for you or criticized for you. Let me be full, let me be empty. Let me have all things, let me have nothing. I freely and fully surrender all things to your glory and service. And now, O wonderful and holy God, creator, redeemer, and sustainer, you are mine and I am yours. So be it. And the covenant which I have made on earth, let it also be made in heaven. Amen. This morning, my reading was Acts chapter 5, verses 17 to 42. This is a really interesting chapter. It's, again, not a real easy one. It comes from a difficult point in the early days of the church. The Jerusalem Council, a group of Jewish religious leaders who helped govern in the Jerusalem area under the Roman Empire, was taking on the apostles. The apostles were doing lots of preaching, and they were being very successful with what they were doing. Peter was one of these apostles. And a lot of people were listening to their message about Jesus and a new life in Christ and an inclusiveness that everyone was welcome, everyone was included, male, female, Gentile, Jew, slave or free, as Paul wrote in Galatians. And the Jewish religious leaders, it says, were overcome with jealousy. So the apostles were locked up, and the Jewish leaders were trying to figure out what to do with them. An angel came and released them from heaven, told them to go back and continue their work. And what the angel said was, tell the people everything about the new life. So once again, God is reinforcing this message that Jesus brought and that the apostles have been teaching, and God wanted this message to continue. Now, the guards went and got them to return them, and it says that they did not use force because they were afraid the people would stone them. Once again, this reinforces how receptive the people were to the message that the apostles had. They wanted to hear about Jesus. They wanted to hear what this new thing was that God was doing in the world. At this point, the council, it says, wanted to kill them. And this is where I think it gets really interesting. There's this prominent Jewish teacher and leader named Gamaliel, very, very wise guy. He's actually been the teacher of Paul before Paul became a follower of Jesus. And, they're facing this situation where there's this development of a new understanding of faith. They didn't have a name for it yet. So the people eventually became called Christians, but they didn't have that name for them back then. And there was jealousy. The Jewish leaders didn't know what to do with this group of people. They didn't know where it was going. It wasn't just a religious problem for them. They had a special agreement with the Roman authorities to be able to continue with their Jewish religious practices, which did not follow Roman religious practices. And so there was a very careful negotiation going on for the Jews to be able to live as God had instructed them in the Old Testament. But Gamaliel really has an interesting thing that he says here, and I'm going to read it word for word. Fellow Israelites, he says, consider carefully what you intend to do these people. Some time ago, Theudas appeared, claiming to be somebody, and some 400 men joined him. After he was killed, all of his followers scattered, and nothing came of it. Afterward, at the time of the census, Judas the Galilean appeared and got some people to follow him for a while in a revolt. He was killed too, and all of his followers scattered far and wide. Here's my recommendation in this case. Distance yourself from these men. Let them go. If their plan or activity is of human origin, it will end in ruin. If it originates with God, you won't be able to stop them. Instead, you would actually find yourselves fighting God. Now, in this case, the council was convinced by this argument, and they let the apostles go. But I think this is a really interesting passage for us to hold on to because it really calls us to be humble. So often in so many things we do, we decide that we've got the right understanding. We understand it the way we think it is the way it has got to be. And we're not always right. And sometimes it's hard to know where God is in some of the disagreements we have for people, especially within the church. And I think Gamaliel really has some good wisdom here. If something is of people, it's not going to last. If something is of God, we don't want to be in God's way, and it's going to stand the test of time. So, whatever it is that we're disagreeing about, grumbling about, arguing about, I think it would really be wise for us to follow Gamaliel's advice and to step back and say, you know what? I'm going to let God figure this one out. I'm going to continue to live with people and love people the way God wants me to love them. But we don't have to agree on everything, and God's going to sort it all out. God's going to figure it out in the end. It's not up to me to figure it all out. So today, as we go about our daily business, I encourage all of us to think more about loving everyone around us, which is clearly God's intent for us, and to worry less about the stuff that we don't agree about and let God sort all that stuff out. Let's live a life of humility today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.